What do you think?
I think we're dead meat. Real dead meat.
You're dead meat! Go ahead and laugh, you guys. If I ever find a little bastards that did this, they're dead meat.
Welcome to the Dead Meat Podcast, an extension of the YouTube channel Dead Meat. I'm James.
I'm Chelsea, and we're a boyfriend and girlfriend, and we like to get scared together. And we are going to Nana and Pop Pop's house this week because we watched The Visit.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I kind of love The Visit, I think.
I liked it. I had a fun time, dude.
I had a great ass time during this. We both wanted to see it because I remember seeing the trailers for it.
Yeah, we might have seen them in front of Unfriended because we saw that in theaters, and I think that the trailer for this played in front of Unfriended. So
that sounds
I think
about
way
right.
back then, because this is a 2015 movie, and yeah, we like it doesn't feel like an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
No, I always forget he did this, and this one was kind of a return to form, a lot of people think.
That's what they say.
And
because,
if not, it's either a tie between this or Split.
Yeah, Split for sure.
Yeah,
but
Split
this,
is
I think,
great. I love Split.
Yeah, this I think, because let's see, I'm looking at his filmography right now, and I think everyone agrees that obviously, Sixth Sense, great. Unbreakable, I think
Great.
people like.
Yeah.
Signs, 2002, I think people like. The Village, 2004. Starts to get a little divisive.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I liked it when I saw it, but I also was, even in those days, a Shyamalan fanboy. My boy could do no wrong, and I loved The Visit when I saw it in
Did you mean
theaters.
The Village?
Or sorry, The Visit. Yeah, The Village. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I saw The Village in theaters. I loved it. I wonder how that is now.
2006, Lady in the Water.
I didn't
Never
see it.
saw it, but I think it's universally disliked.
Yes, it
And
is.
then 2008, The Happening.
Also,
Also haven't seen it. Also universally disliked,
Yeah.
I believe. Last Airbender. He's just shitting the bed all
Oh,
over the place at
yeah.
this point. Devil. Did he actually direct that or just have something to do with it? And then After Earth. What the fuck is After Earth?
that's that Will Smith movie that he did with his kid. It's Will Smith and Jaden Smith.
Is it good?
No,
Oh.
it's not good.
So yeah, he spent a few years shitting the bed. Roughly almost a decade.
I hope that ultimately he has a reputation as an important, cool, good
I think
filmmaker.
he already does, man.
I hope so. I think it's the thing with him is it's easy to make fun of his movies and him because of course they have the twists and the I'm such an idiot for that. I love it. I love a good twist.
Yeah, dude,
twist.
everyone loves a good twist.
It's
and
fun,
those first few movies have great twists. And I think he just
yeah.
it became really easy to make fun of him and just mock his movies as,
Yeah.
oh, it's a twist. Like I think that was the Robot
and
Chicken
making
thing.
fun of his name, which don't make fun of his name, guys. That's racist.
Yeah.
It's racist. It's
Shyamalan,
not nice.
Whatever.
I have to give him a lot of credit for being a director who's not white, and his movies aren't defined by that. He's not put into a corner, is what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's a bad thing to make movies about that and those kinds of experiences, but there's often, I think, this idea in Hollywood that a director who's not white has to ultimately make movies that are about race, or a director that's a woman has to make movies that are about the female experience or that are empowering to it. So there's kind of this pressure to be performatively, making stories that are about like those experiences.
Yeah, he's just making movies.
He's just making whatever the fuck he wants, and I give him a lot of credit for that. I think he's great. I do. One of our friends from college, Banu. Hi, Banu.
Hey, Banu.
He said that every time an M. Night Shyamalan movie came out, him and his whole family would go because he's an Indian director, and that was like the biggest deal when.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Visit.
Also, I do want to say, this
What
was
is-
my fun factoid I teased to you before we started recording. You said that The Visit was seen by many as a return to form. In fact, so much so that he was nominated for a Razzie Redeemer Award.
Whoa.
An award they give out to former
I didn't know
nominees
they
of the Razzies.
did that.
I didn't know that either, but for turning a corner and making good again. Apparently
Wow.
Sylvester Stallone won a Razzie Redeemer Award.
Really?
So did Mel Gibson for fucking Hacksaw Ridge. Hacksaw Ridge is great.
Hacksaw Ridge is very good, but
We
like
don't need to
we
give
don't
Mel
yeah, we
Gibson
don't need
awards.
to tell him that to his face. Yeah. We don't need to make him feel good about it.
I think they also gave it in 2017 to Hollywood as a whole for like calling itself out, which like still a lot of work to do, guys.
Yeah, let's
maybe
not-
hold off on the awards.
yeah, let's
that's
not
that's
jump
the
on that too
Obama
quick.
Nobel Prize.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. God, that was right when he became president.
Yeah, even he was like, yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah.
Let's talk about The Visit.
The Visit.
Dude, yeah, I didn't realize that it was a found footage movie.
I didn't either.
That it was
I had
all
no
found
idea it was a found footage thing.
And as with all found footage movies, yeah, you know, you got to do some things with the whole like excuse for recording it all. In this case, it's, I mean, if you don't know the story, it's just these two teenagers, older sister Olivia DeJong. I don't know if I'm saying that right. DeYoung, maybe. Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And Ed Oxenbould, also great. Both of them would go on to be in Better Watch Out, 2017 movie, one of the best movies.
It's really good.
It's so good.
And it's weird how much farther apart in age they look in Better Watch Out.
Which is only 2 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because here I think when they filmed it, they were 16 and 13. And then in Better Watch Out, she's like 18, 19, and she looks like much more like an adult.
Yeah,
whereas
than
in
he
this
does.
movie, she looks like a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And he also looks pretty older. But I highly recommend Better Watch Out.
That's a really, really good one.
Don't spoil yourself going into it.
Nope.
But yeah, it's great that these two got to reunite for that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Where here they're playing siblings. They're both fucking great.
Speaking of spoilers,
God.
I will
No
leave no
names.
names to protect the not so innocent, but we were at a bar over the weekend with some friends and we mentioned, after we leave, we're going to go home and watch The Visit.
In mere hours, we are going to go watch
Yeah.
The Visit, which we have never seen before.
And immediately one of our friends just goes, The Visit. That's the one where, and then just said the end of the movie. And everyone, I think there was just kind of a beat, and then everyone went, wow.
It's yeah, you know, and people when I commented on us being minorly spoiled for me during our review, there were some people being like, why do you care about spoilers? Cuz man, I want to see the movie the way it was intended to be seen.
Yeah, come on.
And it's cool if you're fine with spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not knocking however you want to experience the movie, but filmmakers and writers set out to make an experience, a journey of this storytelling, and I want to be in the seat the whole time, not looking ahead or running ahead on the tracks, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, especially with this movie,
Yeah.
it sucked to have that twist.
It did. I was like, maybe it won't matter so much.
No, it's like the crux of it. Which is fine. We were still able to enjoy the movie.
Oh my God.
But I can't help but wonder how my mind would have been blown had we not known it.
Yeah.
You know?
Whatever. There's bigger other things to be upset about.
Yeah, that's damn true. Also in the cast is Deanna Dunnigan and Peter McRobbie
Yeah.
as the grandparents.
Fucking awesome. They're
Fucking
so good.
awesome. They're so
Peter
great.
McRobbie, and this is. It was driving me nuts. He looked so familiar to me this whole movie, and I'm looking up his filmography. And I'm like, I don't know, like it's not like stuff I've seen, but not anything where it hit like, that's where I know him from. But then I saw he was in The American Astronaut, which if you've never, that it is such a deep pull. But that movie's super cool. It's a low budget sci-fi musical.
Every day and every way it's yes, and don't you know that I love it so?
When was that movie from?
2001, but I saw
Okay.
it in Ann Arbor at the State Theater. They brought it around for some screening, and it's a fun time. Big recommend for like super indie.
So
low
he would
budget.
have been in his 60s then, because they're both in their 70s here.
Okay.
Which, especially Deanna Dunnigan, who's a couple years older than Peter
Yeah.
McRobbie. She's 74, I believe, when they filmed this.
Does she have a stunt double for
I
this?
think probably for the scene when she's naked scratching at the wall.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
probably a double. And maybe some of the more physical things, but like a lot of the stuff that she does in this movie, I'm impressed that a 74-year-old woman does it. She has a very, and like I said when we were watching.
Oh my god, yeah,
she's kind of hot.
There was a moment, I have it written down in my notes, the exact moment where both of us admitted to each other that we think Nana and Pop Pop are hot.
They're kind of hot, man.
They're kind of hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shows a little butt cheek there.
Yeah, we get to see Nana's ass hanging out.
Yeah, and I think that first time it would just be her because it's just her walking away.
This movie goes places.
Yeah.
Like,
Also, Deanna Dunnigan was a nun in Fox's The Exorcist, one of the greatest horror television shows of all
still have to
time.
watch it.
Yeah, she was like the head nun, and she was fucking dope in that. And that was only a few years after this, but I mean, The Habit probably also.
God, everyone in that show is hot.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, I mean, by then she's like late 70s, and
Who
so.
cares? It's not like she just becomes not hot all of a sudden. It's not that much later than this.
And then, how do you know Catherine Hahn, the
I know her.
mother
I mean,
of the
she's
kids?
in a lot of stuff, but I know her from Step Brothers.
Oh, okay.
she's
Is she singing with Adam Scott in the car?
Yeah.
Okay.
flat, so flat.
Is she the one who's like has
She's
sex
fucking John C. Reilly,
and it's like right in front of the
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
when that
yeah.
movie lost me.
yeah, sure.
I was not won over by that movie. Sorry, I know you love it.
I do love it. Me and my sister got my mom a Boats and Hose t-shirt for Mother's Day once, and she fucking loved it.
You know what? Maybe one day we'll go to the Catalina wine mixer.
God, I'm just excited to go on the journey of this movie again because it really the end of this takes.
There's a lot of crazy shit going on in this movie, man.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. We begin the movie. It's an interview with Catherine Hahn, who we later learn is the mom of the two main characters, the two kids in this, and she's talking about how she was married and her husband left her. She married really young. She kind of has this whole
Yeah, she had two
sad
kids
backstory,
with him, the two kids,
Yeah.
and then her husband left because he met someone in a Starbucks.
Yes.
That sucks.
Yeah, it does. And apparently her parents, who are Nana and Pop Pop, they never liked him, which makes sense because I think she was 19 or something and he was...
I read, I didn't catch this in the movie, but I read that it was her high school teacher.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that either.
I
If
wouldn't
I
like
was
that
Nana
either,
and
yeah.
Pop Pop. It's weird.
Week I left, things escalated. Parents cursed at me, which was like crazy unusual, and it ended one afternoon very badly. I left at 19, haven't spoken to my parents in 15 years.
I think they only reached out once she had her kids because they wanted to meet their grandkids. Then the 15-year-old I didn't write her name down. I just have sister and brother.
Olivia DeYoung.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget what her character's name is as well.
We'll call them sister and T Diamond Stylist. We'll explain.
Well, it's definitely T Diamond Stylist.
Yeah, it is.
And it's Becca is the
Becca. Okay.
Olivia's character.
So Becca's making a documentary about her mom, and it reminded me so much of the Halloween podcasters for some reason. I love just... I want to make a list of the most annoying vloggers / documentary makers in cinematic history.
Oh, that'd be a good list. I especially
Make
like...
a little IMDb listicle.
Yeah. Also, I'm rewatching Game of Thrones in anticipation of that last season, and the podcaster from Halloween 2018 is there.
That's right. He's
Sir Hugh of the
Hugh
Vale.
of the Vale,
Gets his
R.I.P.
fucking neck cut open by the mountain that rides.
Yeah, and if that was season 1, that's
Yes.
like the 3rd episode.
It's early on,
It's
yeah.
so early. Poor Sansa just watches that happen. Fuck. I love Game of Thrones. All right. She's got a nice camera, by the way. I think we have a Canon 5D.
Oh, yeah, she's using the camera that I use for kill counts.
Yeah, it's a nice camera.
Yep.
I also was glad because it doesn't look like they filmed this movie on a 5D, which I'm fine with. It looks like it's filmed with just whatever filmed. Like it looks like a movie. That's why
It does.
I didn't realize it was a found footage, which, you know what? I'm fine with that.
Yeah, this was a found footage movie where I was less focused on the like reality of it, because I think with some found footage movies, if they looked like film like this does, or looked not like film, but like more like a big budget movie, I'd complain. But for this, it just feels fine.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
I don't need the camera look for this.
Yeah, and I was bothered by a few times they did dissolves in this movie. They
Why?
did dissolve because it's like, why would that be there? That's
Because it's a
not-
15-year-old making a documentary.
I guess if you want to put it that way.
We're supposed to be watching her movie.
Sure. Okay.
Because there is a disclaimer at the end that's like, my brother made me put this in here.
That's right. Okay. So, and
15-year-old who's obsessed with cinema and uses the phrases mise en scène and denouement is going to have a...
Hey,
I'm
it was-
surprised there's not.
It was T Diamond who said mise en scène.
That's right.
She must have used it around him.
Yeah. He learned it from watching you.
Mise en scène.
So apparently the brother is, ever since the dad left, he has kind of a fixation on germs, which isn't explored a ton.
It's not.
But
and
it kind
that's-
of comes up. It's mentioned.
It's mentioned and then brought up a couple of times and then used in the end.
Yeah.
For that
when
scene.
this movie turns into Solo for like a few minutes.
I wish his OCD had been used a little bit
Yeah,
more,
same.
but whatever, man.
Yeah.
He's obsessed with germs and he is a
Oh, he's a rapper.
he's an aspiring rapper.
Girl, I'm chilling again. I'm feeling again. I'm like Iron Man and Batman. I'm a hero again. Oh, you think I'm little, but last month I grew 1.25 inches again. You think you're too good for me, but that's really a joke. Cause see, that doesn't bother me cause I'm not a sensitive bloke.
They sound like a Will Smith late 90s song.
Ha ha ha.
I love it.
Yeah.
Ladies, that kind of...
It's got a weird flow. I'm not deep in the rap scene. I
I'm
don't
not
know
even
if
going
this
to try
is-
and talk about what kind of rap he's doing.
It feels to me like his verses are just barely hanging on to the rhythm and the rhyme structure and that they're about to like teeter off at any minute, but then he brings it back at the last second. I don't know.
He's trying.
He's trying. And you know what? It's probably accurate as to what a 13-year-old kid would sound like trying to freestyle.
Yeah, and that's why his name is T Diamond Stylus.
Yep.
That's his rap name, and we're calling him that this whole episode.
Yeah. I think it's what Tyler is his actual name.
I don't even remember. My notes just say T Diamond Stylus or just T Diamond if I got lazy. So Nana and Pop Pop pick them up from the train station and they drive them back to their place. It's a nice place. The mom
It's a
made it
great
sound like
house.
she grew up in a barn. 'Cause
Yeah.
she keeps talking about, I grew up on the farm in the farmhouse. And no, this is a nice.
I mean, I guess it's a farm, but it's
I
a
guess
nice
technically
farm.
it's a farm. It
I'll
looks
be
like
a farmer for that.
it
house.
reminds me of John McCain's house or not John McCain, Dick Cheney's house in Vice.
They ask T Diamond why his pants are so low, and he spits out some verses for them.
Oh gosh.
Pop Pop loves it.
Pop Pop loves it. Nana doesn't quite understand what rap is. They have to explain it to her. And T Diamond is like, here, just give me a word, any word, and I'll do a rap about it. And it turns into a weird improv show. It's like, I need a one word suggestion.
Give me a suggestion. Upside down pineapple cake.
I heard upside down pineapple cake. Thank
All
you,
right.
Nana.
Let me rap about tall girls and hoes and upside down pineapple. All of his raps involve verses about tall girls, which is funny because he seems like a little guy. Also, what's this guy's name? What's this kid's name?
T-Diamond.
T Diamond. Ed Oxenbold. Hey, bud. I had the same hair as you, so look forward to this. This is what you're going to be working with in about 20 years. We got big foreheads, but you can make it work, man. It's cool. Because I'm looking at that kid, I'm like, he looks like
He does
a little
like
me.
He looks like pictures of you. I've seen it.
Yeah,
he
big
was a
big
kid.
forehead, straight hair, like coming down. But you can make it
Good
work,
look.
kid.
Yeah, I like it.
Well, I hope so.
And then Pop Pop, after this rap is done, comes in and is like, whoa, yes, sir.
Yeah, yes, sir.
I fucking love Pop Pop.
Oh my god.
Pop Pop is so much fun.
Dude, he has a few great lines when that just are very abrupt. I see you wrote one down here where he's like, you guys are great kids. This is going to be a great week. By the way, there's mold in the basement.
You guys are good kids. This is going to be a great week. By the way, there's mold in the basement. We don't want you guys to get sick.
There's also one later where he's like, because he says their bedtime is 9:30 and not to leave their room after 9:30. And he's like, Becca, T Diamond Stylus, we're old people. We go to bed early. But just the matter of fact way that he
He's
says
so
it.
funny.
It's fucking great.
He's so funny.
Yeah, I saw this was described as a horror comedy, which it didn't strike me as what I would describe as a horror comedy. It's kind of like Scream. Although
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's no Scream. I think is
Scream
horror
you would
comedy.
call a horror comedy?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would. I think it's just a funny horror movie.
Interesting. What do
'Cause
you
like a horror
classify as a
comedy,
horror comedy?
Tucker and Dale,
Sure.
Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah. Okay.
Those have a more like, I don't know, outward aim to be comedic, and so does Scream, I guess. But still, it's just, I don't know. There's some kind of weird dividing line there for me.
I mean, I wouldn't describe this as a comedy, but it's really funny.
Well, apparently it went through a couple of different edits.
I was reading that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shyamalan said that his first edit
I would love to
was
see
like an art
those
house
edit. I would love to
version,
see the art house
and then the
version
second
of
was like a
this.
strict comedy, and
Yeah.
then he found a good balance. I think it's a good balance.
Yeah, same.
Because, yeah, we were laughing a bunch. But it's also got some good creepy moments coming up soon.
Yeah, there's some good scares in this. Good atmosphere. It's a fun movie. I wish it was maybe talked about a bit more. But I remember when it came out, it got good reviews. And
It did.
people
It kind of came and
generally
went,
liked
I
it.
feel. Like,
Yeah.
it got some positive. And then, it just got eclipsed by a split, I think.
They look out the window and they see Pop Pop by the shed in the back acting kind of weird. So that's interesting. They Skype with Mom for a little bit, and she's all weird about the fact that her kids are with her grandparents, but she's having fun on
She's
her,
having a
her
blast.
cruise. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Pop Pop says apparently Nana hasn't been this happy in years.
Oh,
Now
that's
that the
nice.
kids are here, and
That's nice.
Becca, T Diamond Stylus, we're old people. Bedtime here is 9:30.
early bedtime. And I know when I try and go to bed early, and this happened to me last night, I get hungry in the middle of the night. And so they think, okay, I think the sister, Becca, wants to get up and get some cookies from downstairs. And they did look like really good cookies. Oh, but the same scene, she's editing her movie and she's putting in music. And T Diamond is like, oh, it's really emotional music, and the sister just turns to him and goes, I hate sappy movies. I find them torturous.
Yeah, and I just want to say that I bet there are plenty of people who found her annoying.
No, she's perfect.
That's the thing, though. I think she's supposed to be
She
film student type
she's
annoying.
She's me. Like,
Yeah.
she's me when I'm that age. I'm the worst. Like, yeah.
All film students are the worst
All
because
films,
we're the
we're
worst.
For real.
As we learn the art,
Especially
and
a young burgeoning cinephile, before you go to film school and meet other people, you just have to be insufferable
Yeah.
alone. I so get it. I
Yeah.
still feel that way about
if
sappy
you're a
movies,
teenage
though.
like film student right now listening to this, you're probably the worst. But don't worry, you'll grow out of it. Hopefully,
Becca does go downstairs to get some cookies, and she's at the top of the stairs and she just sees Nana standing there, and then she throws like a fire hose. It's just projectile vomit, like just watery vomit. And that's when I know I love this shit. I love this movie because
Yeah.
what the fuck? It is so great. I didn't even notice in my notes. I just wrote this movie rules next to that part.
Yeah, she's just like a little puke fountain.
So the next day, the kids ask Pop Pop, hey, what the fuck? And Pop Pop says, oh, Nana had a stomach flu and she's fine. Like, whatever, dude. You can just admit that Nana parties hard. You don't gotta make, oh, she's sick. Okay, sure.
Yeah, so they start playing around underneath the porch because they're like,
I guess
Mom used to do
that.
this."
I don't care. It's disgusting. It looks like building foundation is what they're. I didn't realize it was under the porch because I missed that's where they were, because it kind of cuts and they're just under there crawling around. It's just a crawl space. All I could think about were all the spiders and it's so gross.
I'd played it around down there, whatever. Especially if I were a kid, I'd be down there all the time. Fuck it.
So they're running around under there, and they kind of are playing hide and seek. So they split up, and Nana zooms by in the background of a shot, and I actually yelped and said, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, she's
out
just
loud.
this grandma's galloping
Yeah,
around
she's
underneath
like a
the house.
Spider lady just
Yeah.
crawling around under there.
And she's giggling
she's
and
so
chasing them. It's
fast.
so great. I love it.
Oh my god,
It's creepy, dude.
Nana's so scary. And then they all get out from under the porch, and the kids are clearly rattled. And I'm just thinking, like, wow, Nana, that was fucked up. But Nana just stands up and laughs, and she brushes off her hands and goes, I'm making chicken pot pie. And then she turns around and her skirt is like it's like stuck in her underwear on accident.
Yeah.
So Nana's ass is just hanging
Just get a
out.
little bit of Nana butt cheek.
It's just this movie's already gone so many weird places, and I love it so much.
She was just crawling around being like, I'm going to get you, Tyler. I'm going to get you. Like, it was great.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then she's got her ass cheeks hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy named Dr. Sam who knocks on the door, and I only mention him because he says Nana and Pop Pop, they haven't been by the hospital lately because they usually volunteer.
Tell them I stopped by. They were supposed to volunteer a few days ago. I tried calling. I just want to make sure everything was okay.
So just an important, put that away for
Yeah, they work at the hospital.
later. Yes. T. Diamond Stylus is dying to investigate that shed because Grandpa keeps lurking by it. He's kind of lingering there, and he goes in and immediately says, it smells like ass in here. And I'm thinking, oh, there's bodies in here. And I thought that before he said it smelled bad. I'm like, cool, we're going to find a bunch of bodies. But no, because this movie rules and keeps just subverting my expectations. It's not bodies. It's a pile of poopy diapers.
Bunch of poopy
piled
diapers.
up on a table. And yep, that was the worst thing I think they could have found.
The poopy diaper shed?
Yeah, I think that was the least expected worst thing they could have found because I was so disgusted. It made my stomach turn a little bit. So he runs out
and
of
obviously T. Diamond, who has a problem with germs, did not like this.
there. Ooh, does not want to be in the
And Nana
diaper
just tells him
shed
Pop Pop
anymore.
has incontinence.
Yeah, Pop
and
Pop
he's ashamed of it.
shits his pants,
Yep.
and he apparently, he keeps his poopy diapers in the shed, and once there's too many of them, he burns them all in a field. That would smell so
That'd smell real
bad.
bad, and probably a lot of stuff in those diapers you shouldn't be burning.
Right.
Don't they have like plastic parts to them?
Yeah.
I don't know diapers.
Those aren't reusable diapers. They're just nasty plastic.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that smells so bad. Hey guys, I want to talk about our sponsor this week, ExpressVPN. And ExpressVPN encrypts your data while you're browsing online, which is very important for someone like me where my job is all online.
That's true.
And I get very scared about my stuff being stolen, my information, because the internet's scary.
The internet's scary, dude.
We saw unfriended dark web,
Mm-hmm.
but ExpressVPN makes it easy, which is good because I get very intimidated by stuff like this, just techie stuff. But this is like, it's one click and you have ExpressVPN set up, which is nice.
That is nice because, yeah, I think data encryption, even just that phrase,
It sounds
data encryption,
complicated.
It does.
Yeah, but it's not. It's super easy and it's cheap too. It sounds like this might be something fancy that'd be really expensive to have, but it's not. It's less than $7 a month to
Nice.
get the same thing I have with ExpressVPN, which is
Oh.
nice.
Yeah, because I mean, especially because, yeah, when you're out and about on your phone, you're probably connecting to all these public
Just
Wi-Fis.
weird Wi-Fi.
You know, and because
Yeah.
like you want that fast internet, you want
You
to
don't want to
watch...
get that text that says, "Hey, you used all your data," and it's
Yeah.
like the 5th of the month. Also, just because trust is a big thing, and can we trust ExpressVPN? Yeah, we can, because it's the #1 VPN service as rated by TechRadar. And it comes with a money-back guarantee, 30 days. So you can get your money back if you don't like it. So if you want to protect your online activity today, which you should because it's important, you can also get 3 months free. We all like free stuff. Go to expressvpn.com/deadmeat. That's expressvpn.com/deadmeat, like the channel, for 3 months free with a 1-year package. So again, expressvpn.com/deadmeat.
So the kids want to explore where their mom grew up, and
I love this whole sequence.
they go with their pop-up, and they're driving around, and they're playing this game where they're driving by buildings, and they're making up the lives of the people who live in them. speaking of Game of Thrones, Sansa and Shay
Oh
did
yeah,
this.
they do that with the boats.
Yeah, and Shay ruins it just like Pop does here because Sansa's like, what do you think is on that boat? And she's like, Spicer's going to Volantis. How do you know? Because I was on a ship once and it looked like that.
Like,
and
no, you're supposed to play the game. You have to make something up. And that's exactly what Pop does. He just points at a building and is like, oh no, that's actually where blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
All right, Pop. So they get out of the car and they're videoing the mom's high school where she used to hang out in front of the sign and probably smoke weed. And so they're taping and Pop says there's a guy staring at us across the street, and they turn around and it's just a dude. He's not looking at him. He's just standing there. And so they say, no, he's not. He's just standing there. We don't know him. And then Pop runs across the street.
He's following me! I don't know you following me! You cross-eyed!
Beating on him, man.
Beats the shit out of this dude, and it's so great. They have to pull Pop off, and then he realizes, oh, I'm sorry.
I'm confused.
He's confused and old, but it's awesome. Pop beat that guy up so bad.
Yeah, that night they're in their room and they hear creaking outside the door.
Yeah, and I think this is the first time we get the camera set up at night.
Okay.
And it was kind of giving me Paranormal Activity vibes.
Mhm.
I wonder if maybe that also was the reason they decided not to make it found footage, because it would have felt a little...
You mean like found footage, like quality, or?
Yeah. No, yeah, it's still found footage, but not, because that would be very reminiscent of Paranormal Activity then. But
yeah, but we hear some noises, which we also just heard here. That was crazy.
yeah, our window just shook.
Ooh,
It was creepy.
Lucy didn't like
it's
it.
Nana.
Yeah, and like you were like, it's gonna be naked Nana, and they opened the door.
I joked, oh, it's gonna be naked Nana outside, but then she opens the door and it's naked Nana.
Scratching at.
Further solidifying how much I love this crazy ass movie.
Yep.
Yeah, she's scratching the walls, and so then again, as is tradition now, the next day they ask Pop, hey, what the fuck? And Pop says, look, she's I wasn't totally honest with you guys about when she was sick. She has a disorder, sundowning, which is a real thing.
And which was the original title of this movie.
Yeah, it was going to be called Sundowning.
And that's people in like mid-stage dementia or Alzheimer's. They're affected by like circadian rhythms, and when evening comes or nighttime comes, they, their conditions worsen, which is terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if that historically has ever played into myths about werewolves or things like that, where back in, honestly, up till pretty recently, we didn't know what this was or why, what was causing it, or witches. I wonder if that has, because it's amazing how often it's just real life diseases that we don't have an explanation for them, and that's where we get monsters from.
Yeah. I will say that I kind of had a working theory while watching this that Pop and Nana were actually fully there and just playing.
Just fucking with them?
Yeah, because Pop has a lot of lines about, oh, we're old. Like, he says that a lot. Like, oh, old people like us, we're old. And I kind of expected it, half wanted it to be a thing in the end where it was like, yeah, you thought we were like this because we're old, because society doesn't value elderly, and they like write them off as crazy, and like
they're just fucking with
and they
their
were just
grandkids?
fucking with them, and they're like, yeah, crazy, but like in more of a psychopathic sense, like a sadistic sense.
Yeah.
It didn't turn out that way. That's fine.
It's fine.
They ended up
Okay, that's
actually
interesting.
being, having some mental issues going on.
Yeah.
I just for once wanted it to not be crazy people are the scary thing.
I do want to talk about that because I had that exact thought. So spoilers. I don't know why I bother saying spoilers, and we're going to spoil it anyway. And hey, you're listening to this without watching the movie. So yeah, in the end, it's mental illness, and it's genuinely, they are escaped psychiatric patients from a mental hospital. They are not Nana and Pop.
Yeah, that was what was spoiled.
That was what was spoiled for us.
The one where they're not actually the grandparents?
Just beat. Oh my God. And then the best was that split second. everyone going, wow, dude. And then his face just like, I could see him realize what he'd done. And it was so funny.
And I'll appreciate Zoran, who was with us. My editor, Zoran, was like, you know, I saw that movie. I can't even remember if that's the actual twist. But I could tell in the moment as he was saying it, I was like, that's just him trying
You're lying. You're trying to make us feel better.
Yeah, you're just trying to.
It was very sweet, but
thank you.
We saw it through that. That was like weird two little kids who maybe found out Santa's not real, and the one parent is like, no, it's because, and then making up some crazy reason as
but
to
it's too late.
We know.
The kids know.
We know.
Oh yeah, well when Pop says that she has sundowning, he is also getting dressed in like a tux and is like, well,
by the way, I'm off to the costume party on the train.
And that was the thing, to further go along with my theory, is Becca is like, wait, what? And he immediately is like, oh, this isn't right, is it? And he like stops. And so I was like, oh, they're just fucking with him, aren't they?
Yeah.
Wasn't the case. That's
I love that though. Just this whole like
costume party.
So she has dementia and blah 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 blah. Well, I'm off to the costume party.
Yeah. And so Nana is like, no, Pop has
I
problems.
love too that after we realized they both have mental issues, this is where in my notes I wrote that we admitted to each other that Nana and Pop are hot. Not earlier. This is after we have seen one of them projectile vomit, and we found out the other one keeps all their poopy diapers in a
they
shed.
keep showing Nana's ass. What am I supposed to do?
It's a nice ass.
It's a nice ass.
Yeah. Apparently, Nana spilled something on Becca's laptop, so the camera doesn't work anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shrewd move.
Interesting. I think she said it was oven cleaner.
Something like that. But yeah, it messes up the camera so that when they're Skyping with their mom, mom can't see them.
But they can see mom, who is partying.
She partying on a cruise.
Is on her way to a hairy chest contest.
That's right.
Which I love.
With like Miguel, is that the name of the guy she's with? Yeah.
I'm really happy for mom.
She's having a great time. Even T Diamond's like, she's happier without us.
Yeah.
Oh, the hairy chest competition's about to begin. I can hear the cougars clapping.
Becca asks Nana about her relationship with the mom, because
that's
kind of
like
why they're, that was a big reason why they wanted to come visit, was to have the grandparents talking on film about their mom and
what happened.
And what
she still
happened.
Doesn't know what happened.
She doesn't.
The day
yeah,
her mom left.
The kids don't know what happened when mom left and they became estranged. So Nana doesn't respond. She just says nothing, and then asks, would you mind getting inside the oven to clean it, which was in all the trailers.
Yeah, that's the only thing I remember.
I remember that sold me. I thought, oh, that's so great.
It's also kind of Hansel and Gretel-esque.
Yes.
Which people said this is like a modern take on Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah, for sure. Because, brother and sister, and I would say the camera and the footage is the equivalent of the breadcrumbs a little bit.
Ooh, Chelsea with the fairy tale analysis.
Yeah.
That should be your thing.
Another fairy tale analysis.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a reason. I know it sucks. I know a lot of people who took college courses on fairy tales, and there's this whole system for organizing fairy tales that I think is so interesting, because they're stories that, and I think this is why you can look at even modern movies and maybe trace parts of these stories to fairy tales, is because the structures of those stories are so ubiquitous that there is like a numbered catalog of the types of fairy tales that there are.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I think maybe that's often why, even unintentionally, you can make those analyses with stuff. This is when Nana does an interview. This is when she has her hair up in the rollers and it looks incredible. And to kind of get Nana warmed up, Becca asks, okay, if you were an animal, what kind of animal would you be? And Nana says she'd be a grizzly bear, which she kind of was running around like a grizzly bear a little bit. Was. Then, so after asking Nana how she met Pop, she asks what happened on the day mom left. And that's when Nana freaks out. I don't remember if she starts hitting herself here, but it's this big freak out. And she says, no more questions about Loretta Jameson, who is the mom. So Becca's like, okay, we're done. So it's after 10 p.m. again. They hear more scratching. And this time when they open the door, Nana's running around, not naked this time, but she's running around just back and forth past the door really
with her
fast.
hands behind her back.
It's like the Naruto. Yeah. It's a little bit, Then they go on an outdoor walk the next day, and Nana and Pop-Pop are walking kind of ahead of them down this nature trail. And when they get out of sight, they're far away enough, and the brother, which I think this was very reckless, starts imitating Nana and is like, hey, Becca, guess who I am? And starts doing the Naruto run back and forth. And Becca's like, dude, fucking stop. And that's when they realize they see Nana and she's just staring into this well.
Mm-hmm.
Then the sister interviews the brother, T. Nyman Stylus, apologies, about their dad. And this is when T. Diamond starts telling a story about football, and Becca's like, all right, like, how is this related? But then he says it was this game he was playing when he was, I forget how old
he said he was 10.
10,
and
okay.
I was 13.
And I guess he just freezes up on the field, and so all the players are running past him, and basically the game is just happening around him, and the crowd is yelling at him. And I guess the dad left, if not the next day, pretty soon after. And so he, it's such a little kid thing to do. He blames himself.
Yeah.
And kind of, I think because he associates this moment with his dad leaving, has this weird idea in his head that that's why their dad left. And
yeah. I don't know. These interviews that they do to each other, I didn't really care for. They're like the least interesting part of the movie to me. And
I will say, though, the way that this plays off.
Yeah, because in the end, because he's like frozen.
Yeah.
For when Pop-Pop does his thing.
But then
like charges Pop-Pop. Yeah, I know. It has a payoff.
I know.
But in the moment, I was like,
yes.
I'm sick of this story about Pee Wee football.
Sure. I feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to forgive it just because of the payoff.
The payoff, sure.
Because it was...
And same thing with when he then turns the camera around on her a little later on and interviews her. And
I liked that. I thought that was...
Well, it's better because Olivia DeJonge is just so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's talking to her about why she never looks at herself in the mirror.
Yeah.
And
apparently, even when she's getting ready, she kind of looks down and doesn't look at herself. And he basically calls her out and says, you can't stand yourself. And then that's when we cut to a shot of her crying, and she's crying about their dad leaving, and she says, I refuse to use any footage with dad in it.
Yeah, she doesn't want to forgive him.
Yeah, exactly. So later the brother sees Nana just standing and staring at him from downstairs. Nana is Pop-Pop is still creepy too, but Nana is so much more actively creepy.
Oh, for sure.
And I think I wonder if that's to almost make Pop-Pop feel a bit safer than Nana, so that you maybe have this feeling of hope, like maybe Pop-Pop can help us out. Maybe we feel a bit comforted when he's on screen too, which we learn is very wrong. Yeah.
Oh, this is when the brother says that he wants to investigate the basement and says the grandparents are throwing shade.
I forget what the context of this was.
It's not right, though.
But it's not correct.
It's not correct.
Most people don't use that correctly, I don't think.
Because isn't it? It's not just insulting.
It's not just an insult.
It's like a backhanded compliment.
Yes.
Right?
That, like, I think the best example is when I think it was someone asking, I might have this wrong, I think it was someone asking Aretha Franklin what her opinion on Taylor Swift was. And she just kind of goes, she has beautiful gowns. That is, like, that's shade to me.
Okay.
Because that's so backhanded. And I love, me and Ross always say beautiful gowns. But yeah, so that's why I remember, oh yeah, an adult just wrote this.
Yeah, throwing shade. I don't know what the fuck.
There's a lady named Stacy who stops by.
They were supposed to stop by on Saturday, but they never showed. I know Miss Jameson hadn't been feeling herself, so I thought I'd just stop by, check in on them.
Becca's following Nana and Pop-Pop around to get B-roll for montages, which I love.
I need to get that B-roll.
Get that B-roll. And this is when she gets some great B-roll of Nana rocking back and forth in a rocking chair, and she's laughing at the wall. She's facing the wall and just laughing at nothing.
I heard you laughing.
I have the deep, darkies.
She's in a dark place.
Yeah, because she ends up wrapping her shawl around her face.
Yeah, she tries to pull her shawl super tight around her head. And she says, you have to laugh to keep the deep darkies in a cave.
And so Becca's like, okay, I'm going to go talk to Pop-Pop
I'm going
in
to
the
go
barn.
find Pop-Pop. And
and he's got a gun in his mouth.
Yeah.
I remember this from the trailer, too.
oh, he had it in his mouth?
Yeah.
Oh, I was writing. I didn't notice he had it in his mouth.
No, she walks around the corner and he has it in his mouth, and then he sees her and puts his head up and is like, I was just cleaning it. That's why he says that.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't notice he had it in his mouth.
No, he
I thought
definitely
it
had
was
it in
just
his mouth.
creepy that he had a gun and
No.
was basically pointing it at his face. I don't think you're supposed to clean a gun like that.
No.
That
Probably
seems
not.
really dangerous.
We're not gun people, but I think you don't clean
I think
it.
you don't aim it at your face.
Yeah, when you're cleaning it
Yeah.
or at any point in time.
So this is when the sister, who previously was opposed to the idea of putting hidden cameras around the house, is so weirded out at this point that she says, all right, we're setting up hidden cameras. So she puts some in the living room, I think one upstairs, and
But that night, whenever they end up looking at the footage, they see that Nana, like, it's a good scare.
it is. I was waiting for
Yeah,
it,
it's a
but
telegraph
it still
scare,
creeped
but
me
still
out.
good because it's like the living room camera in the corner, and Nana walks by it, and then you hear her footsteps like kind of disappear, and then she pops up in front of the camera,
Yeah.
like scaring the camera, and then she takes the camera and grabs a knife from the kitchen and like tries to get into their bedroom. She's like slamming the door.
She sets the camera down on the floor, so we just see Nana with this knife trying to get into the kids' room. Cool.
Yeah, and when they see that footage, they're like, "Oh."
But Becca still needs them. She needs to get Nana and Pop-Pop to deliver Mom the elixir, quote unquote. We don't quite know what that means.
Yeah, it's the first time she's said it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of late to introduce that. But.
Yeah, even the brother T Diamond is confused as well. Then we interview Grandpa, and he says that he worked in a factory at night, and he saw a white thing running around the factory at night.
Yellow eyes.
It sounds creepy.
It does.
Yeah.
It's kind of a thing too far for me. I don't get. It just seems like a random thing thrown onto the heap of weirdness going on in this movie. And I know later he's like, it was real.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Especially since the grandma has her own kind of fantasy world too. So it's a lot of, yeah. I see what you mean.
It's fine. I'm
Yeah.
not totally bothered by it, but I'm like, okay, we know that they're weird.
Then they see Nana and Pop-Pop arguing outside with Stacy.
They see the grandparents be like, here, come with us to the back.
Yeah.
And they watch as Stacy goes with them to the backyard, and then they comment a little bit later that they never saw Stacy leave.
Stacy leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nana says okay to one last interview, and she says that she knows a story about water. And she tells a story about a pond that has little creatures in it. And the creatures are from another planet. No one knows about it, but the creatures spit into the pond all day, and the spit makes you sleep. And if you go into the water, you fall into a deep sleep. And apparently the creatures have a lot of people at the bottom of the pond, and they're storing them, and they're taking people back to their planet one day. And then Grandma says, that's a made-up story. But they do have antennas, though. I forget what she said the planet was called. I didn't have time to write it down.
Yeah, it had a name.
They are going to take them back to their planet of Sinmorphatelia one day.
Micah says, cool. Can we talk about Mom? And Nana still doesn't want to. She starts freaking out, hitting herself. And then Becca has to phrase it like a hypothetical story.
Like, what if you knew a girl whose husband left her after she had 2 kids?
Yeah. So she phrases the whole thing as a hypothetical and says, what would you say to that girl? And Anna says, I would forgive her. And we learned that's the elixir, quote unquote, that Becca wanted to get on film.
Yeah, she wanted to get her mom's mom on film saying that she forgives her daughter so that her mom could like come to terms and find peace with this whole thing. That's the only reason they're still here after that whole knife affair.
Time to get the fuck
Skype mom.
Yep.
She's home from her cruise.
Yeah, they're like, hey, can you come get us now? ASAP. And the mom's like, oh, it would, how long it would take for me to drive there. And they say, no, Nana and Pop-Pop are acting really weird. And they point the camera because they cleaned off the oven cleaners. Now the camera's working again. And they point the camera towards Nana and Pop-Pop who are outside. And then that's when the mom says, okay, I need you guys to listen to me very carefully. Like, sit down. I need to tell you something. That's not Nana and Pop Pop.
Yeah.
Where are Nana and Pop Pop? And so they've been staying with two strangers this entire time.
Which is a great twist.
It's a pretty good twist. They call the police department, and apparently there's only one police officer in town because it's such a small town. And they get his voicemail. We see a picture of Nana and Pop Pop with two other old people who we then understand are the real Nana and Pop Pop. And Nana wants help cleaning the oven again. And so Becca goes along with it because they're just trying to keep it cool until Mom gets here.
Mm-hmm.
And so Becca crawls in the oven and she shuts it as a fun joke, I guess. And then she opens it again like it's a prank.
Yeah, she's like, see, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
And then Pop-Pop just fucking runs into the room like hunched over.
He's got the cup with the Yahtzee dice in it and just goes,
Let's make it a perfect family night.
Let's make it a perfect family night.
Shaking those dice around. Love Pop Pop. The brother and sister say, okay, cool. We gotta go film some more stuff outside the house though for the documentary. They go outside and they see Stacy hanging from a tree.
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned earlier in my notes that this whole house looks like a Blumhouse kind of real estate, like there's all these trees. I know. I was joking to you while we were watching it. And like, this is such a Blumhouse movie because someone looks like they could have been hanged from one of those trees. And sure enough,
yep,
there someone is, and it's Stacy. And so they go back inside and they all sit down and play the craziest game of Yahtzee.
It's great.
Yeah.
Pop-Pop's getting all pissed about it, calls himself a Yahtzee master.
And then Nana says, you're not a Yahtzee master. That takes 10 years.
And then fucking Pop-Pop shits himself. There's just like a big growl, and he's just like, stone face, stands up, gets up, and leaves.
Yep.
And
Yahtzee.
Dude, no, the best Yahtzee moment is while he leaves, Nana is just going to town on these cookies, and she's shoving them in her mouth, and she's just eating them. And then it's such good physical acting
so fucking
from this
funny.
woman who's just
It's
like
scary,
shoving cookies.
but funny.
Yeah, it's that perfect balance. And her mouth's full of cookies. She grabs the dice, like mechanically rolls them, and then just like leans into the camera, which is on the table, and just like, it's incredible.
Fuck, it's so good.
That's probably my favorite moment from the movie.
Yeah, this whole board game scene is extremely good. I loved it. The sister now goes down to the basement. I forget what excuse she uses to leave. I think she says her battery died. The camera battery died.
That's right.
This is when the sister in the basement finds a picture. She finds a bunch of pictures of her real grandparents and some jumpsuits from a mental hospital, and then her grandparents' bodies, which we were expecting, but it's
there
still, yeah.
They kept telling us you were so great. How are you gonna visit? How are you gonna be a family? That was a bad thing they did. They knew Claire had put her two children in those suitcases in the pond. She deserved this week as a grandma.
He takes Becca upstairs. Becca is locked in her room, which is on the top floor of the house. Then Pop Pop is in the kitchen with T Diamond, and just he takes off his dirty diaper. I don't know if this was another diaper or if he just never changed the old dirty diaper. I think he maybe just never changed.
Just walking around with some poopy
yeah,
pants,
I think so. So he takes off his dirty diaper, and then he's holding it, and then leans over and whispers, "I never liked you," to T Diamond.
Because T Diamond's frozen.
Yeah.
He's like standing there frozen
He
like
can't
the
move.
Pee-wee football game.
Yep.
Yeah, he said, "I never liked you," to
Yeah.
which hurts. He loved that rap. He purportedly really liked that rap.
Yeah, and then Pop Pop rubs that dirty diaper all over T Diamond's face.
Yep. That's it. That's the moment. That's what happens.
I just wasn't expecting there to be like shit stuff in this.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of it.
Shit to the face.
There's so much poop getting rubbed around on this kid's face. And again, another moment where I think, yeah, I love this movie.
It was pretty great.
That is some crazy, crazy stuff. Nana is in the sister's room, like it's creepy. This looks like the end of Wreck or some shit.
Yeah.
And Nana's running around in there on all fours, and God, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, they just get into a fight.
Yeah,
and
Becca stabs Nana with a mirror shard.
Yeah, which is relevant to her whole thing about not looking into mirrors.
Oh,
so both their stories come into play here.
I
Because
see.
T Diamond froze like he did, and
Yeah. Pom Pop is also just monologuing to the camera, and then he's still just rubbing that shit all over that kid's face. Then, so after Becca comes down from upstairs.
Yeah, so Nana's dead now.
Nana's dead.
She stabbed Nana to death.
Becca tackles Grandpa, and then Tyler.
They get him on the ground, and T Diamond.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking goes crazy.
Yeah.
And
T Diamond is slamming Pop Pop's head in the fridge over and over and again, and he's yelling football plays out loud.
It's insane.
Which is this is the payoff that I loved because it's so batshit.
Mm-hmm.
And then he yells, "Any other crazy bitch ass fucking people here?
Any other crazy bitch ass fucking people here?
I'll take the awkward interview in the middle of this to get
Definitely.
this ending because
Worth
it's
it.
so wild." And they run outside. The police show up. Mom shows up. Her babies smell like shit.
Yeah, no comment on that.
No,
She's
I don't
kissing
think.
him on
I
the
don't think she
face.
cares. Yeah, she's giving them both kisses, and they both probably got pop
Poop.
duty all
Poop,
over
poop.
him. Poop poops
Poop
all
poops.
over him. Then there's one last interview with Mom where she actually does talk about her mom and dad and what really happened. And apparently the day that she left, she got so angry she hit her mom, and then the dad hit her. And it was just, they stood there in shock, and then she left. And that moment was just too much for any of them to get over and deal with. And she kind of reconciles that she should have never needed her daughter to try and get that forgiveness for her because she could have gotten that herself the whole time. Like,
Yeah, because her parents had reached out
they
to her.
had tried to reach out, and she realizes she could have, reached back whenever. And I liked this ending. I thought,
Yeah, because then Becca internalizes that message and uses footage of her own dad.
she puts
at
in the
end.
footage of
She,
her. The very last thing is the footage of her dad. When
Well, it's
they're
not the
little
very
kids.
last thing.
Not the very last thing. Then there's after the footage of the dad and the kids when they're little. There's a little title card that says, "My brother insisted that I put this in here," and then it cuts to it's the credits of the movie rolling over, T Diamond rapping. And
It's a long, unbroken take.
It is.
of
It's a
this
very
kid
long
rapping,
take.
So
Yeah.
props to him
yeah,
for doing it.
that's the visit.
That's the visit.
I liked this.
I had a lot of fun. I've this weekend I watched a lot of movies because I was
We
also
watched
doing
a
Patreon
bunch
reviews.
of stuff. Yeah.
This one was probably my favorite
Okay.
because I watched what did we watch? Autopsy of Jane Doe and
Hellfest
Hellfest.
and
I feel like there was maybe another one in there somewhere, but this one I think was I had the most enjoyable time watching it.
yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, let us know what you thought about The Visit because I feel like this movie probably has a variety of opinions about it. So I want to hear what you thought.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll have another episode for you next week. In the meantime, you can find Dead Meat on social media at Dead Meat James on Twitter and Instagram.
And I'm at Carebeck. That's CREBECC on Twitter and Instagram. And if you want merch, deadmeatstore.com.
Mm-hmm. Until then, I'm James.
I'm Chelsea.
This has been the Dead Meat Podcast.